So are we gonna set some doors on fire today? Fire it up, Doc. That's a big fire! 900 degrees! Good morning, electricians. We've got so many things to do. We've been at it for 12 hours now.
All the power's done in all studios now. All the data's done in all studios. The AC, that's done, that's green.
This is becoming a bad cave. Wooden boards here, soundboards here, rubbish here. It never looked so lived in, right? This room is coming along nicely. Good morning, dear. How you doing? You need some help?
No.
This has become a workshop. This room, both layers, rock solid. Very happy with that. One new thing that you didn't know, Dean built this beautiful thing. This is oak. Here's the fridge, sink, kettle will be here, microwave will be there. And now I'm waiting for the plumber to come sort out the bathroom. Yep, we've come a long way, haven't we? So I've been waiting for Steven because he's gonna help me with the bathroom. He's an expert at plumbing, but also he's a saxophonist, which makes this studio built exclusively by musicians. How cool is that? What's the difference between piping and saxophone?
Saxophone's a little bit more bendy.
But you could get a sound out of it, right?
Probably not, no. Just be a farting sound.
This looks like a different bathroom already. Much better, right? I've got one more visit. Is that you, Steven?
Hey, Claudio.
Hey, man. Thanks for making it.
Yeah, wicked. It's
Right.
cool to be here, man.
A fellow YouTuber has actually sent me a private message and he said, I do lots of lighting. I just want to contribute some help. So now we're gonna find some lighting solutions.
Sweet. How you doing?
Steven.
Everywhere I go, there's Stephen.
Oh, and by the way, Steven.
I'm changing my name.
Steve the tiler, Steve the electrician, Scary Steve, Steve.
Big room. I would like a system that lights up the whole thing completely so that I don't have to set up lights anymore.
Something that's hardwired in, set up, but discreet if we can.
Exactly.
What are you having for a ceiling?
To be honest, I've run a bit out of budget, so I'm gonna leave this like that for now.
Okay.
But definitely I'm gonna have soundproof ceiling up here. I tend to say lights from above, not a great idea because it makes shadows.
It does, unless you can spread the light source over a wide area.
Unless we do that.
Yeah, and then you don't get shadows. Or we can drop those below the ceiling and then create a shadow gap almost and put lighting around the edge of the panels, up light, bounce light off the ceiling, back down into the space. It will eliminate all the shadows.
So you're thinking LED kind of?
There will be LED, yeah, but
LED.
I usually use tunable white LED. You can tailor it to different times of the day.
Right. How about flickering? Are there special types of LEDs that don't flicker?
Yeah, we can get that. We can get that so it doesn't interfere with the cameras.
If we can get between panels like some strips of light so that the light comes from the sides and make us all look more beautiful than we actually are.
This is all going to be plasterboard walls, isn't it? Yeah.
Correct.
We could put low-level wash lights in that light up the passageways. Just set really low, really discreet. You won't see them until they're on, and they'll create a pathway of light. Maybe put some more trays and just suspend lights off the tray. Spots. You can come off of where the tray is at the moment and just put surface spots and bounce the light off the walls. Bounce off the walls, much more easy on the eye. You don't get the glare.
Right.
And if you have just a downlight that lights down like this, you'll create sharp shadows. Have you got any artwork or anything you want on the walls? Or
I may have, my records. I
your
know.
platinum discs.
My platinum discs.
Cool,
Got no platinum discs. That's loud. And yeah, conceptually, the rooms here are gonna be the same thing, because of course I want to be able to film as much as possible from each room. And I'm thinking of putting the desk right here, so that the light is coming from that nice window.
Yeah.
Then maybe, you know, have some lights from there, so that if I put the camera here whilst on the desk, I can be lit.
Sure. Well, we could put something like a profile across here, set off the wall, helmet in front of it. We put some lighting above it and below it that washes down and above, up the wall.
I think that would work. I mean, the only thing that we have to bear in mind is that we're gonna have some panels.
Yeah.
Speaker heights.
An easy thing that we could do is put some recessed track above here, so that you can then click in spots where you need them for direct lighting onto the desk console.
Yeah. Maybe for the gear, because here we're gonna have the racks of gear, one spot on there, one spot on there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Third room, this is gonna be more production room.
Yeah. I mean, I see you've got these etchings on the windows. You could possibly light directly onto the window. What will happen is that will be lit and anything behind it will be obscured, so people can't look in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I should keep going with this thing. Here's where we're gonna have lunch, maybe a table. We have a little bit more wiggle room here, because this doesn't have to be sound treated necessarily.
You could have a gobo projector to project your logo or something onto the wall.
That sounds cool. Or maybe I could have just a projector, maybe up here, and then I can project whatever I want there.
Exactly, yeah. It's the reception, isn't it? You need to make a statement as people walk in.
This is becoming expensive.
These are quite cool. Just neat little spots like this, which have the light set back so they're not glaring.
How's that? Is it LEDs as well?
It's LED, yeah. So it's got a 98 colour rendition index.
Okay.
It means it reproduces colour really, really well.
Oh, right.
It's dimmable. Can have a remote driver to power them, which you need to put in a cupboard space somewhere, or you can get them built into the bases.
Probably the camera system is gonna go up there.
Right.
So we can have a little bit of electricity bit there.
Yeah.
So maybe we can put the power and have the
Power
power
just come across in
come across like that.
Yeah, so they're quite nice because the light is set back behind this baffle. They're not glary in your eyes.
Right.
You don't see where the light source is. It bounces off the surface back into the room. We'd probably have one over there. You could have two maybe cross lighting this area.
Yeah.
Because if you cross light, you get less shadows.
Yeah.
Maybe just a couple along the corridor here, just lighting onto the wall.
Yeah.
Spaces and bouncing in.
So use those ones for the corridors.
Pretty much, I think. You know, I mentioned about the low-level light.
Yeah.
Along the floor.
Da, da, da.
Like this.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. Then recess into that.
Yes.
And that's set that's roughly about that height will then light down onto the floor.
I love you. That's a great idea.
Creates a pathway of light. When they're off, they disappear into the wall.
Yeah.
If the wall is going to be skimmed, you'd skim up to that point, and then it's just a slot in the wall that
Right.
disappears. If not, then there's another fitting we can use with a really small bezel,
Right.
which is really discreet as well.
What I was wondering is if we're gonna have the dados here,
Okay.
then
Right.
this may be in the way.
We could set this below the dado. If the dado's at 450,
Yeah.
it could sit just below that.
So technically, we can use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't do the other side, you wouldn't need to.
Okay,
Would you not want one here as well?
call it 6. Maybe one also there.
Yeah, keep it.
7.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, 7.
So 7 of those.
we can,
what is this?
This is a downlight, but you'd need a ceiling for it. But I think we can get these possibly made into spots as well, and they look like they've got a camera lens at the front. You get very little glare from it.
Would you suggest that I do a false ceiling here as well?
You'd cover all that mess for a start, wouldn't you? You know, I mean, you've got all the cables tie wrapped to the
And then we could use those.
Then you could use this in a false ceiling, yeah. Something that you can look at down the line.
All right.
Yeah.
So if we're lighting up the floor,
We're bouncing light off the walls with spots.
oh, with spots from there.
From the ceiling, these ones.
Oh, those ones.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that takes care of the corridors, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Shall we go inside the rooms?
Let's go inside the main rooms, yeah. If I'd have been involved earlier, we could have done a virtual reality mock-up for you, showing you what the lighting would look like. Yeah.
What's the name of your website, by the way?
It's lightingtechnologies.co.uk.
I think if you're doing anything like, you should contact this guy. Honestly, I'm impressed.
This is one of my lighting suppliers. Italian. Could do something like that along here. It depends how far you want to go.
Oh, that's dramatic.
Really cool
Look
stuff.
at that.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's wait for at least 1 million before we get them 1 million subscribers, I mean, of course.
Sure, everyone hit that bell. You wouldn't want to do any colour tuning or anything around the panel.
If I can...
So you can choose your temperature, colour temperature.
This is going out of hand already, I know it. But then how do you control that?
We'd probably have to control it either through DMX or I could potentially control it through MIDI. You could then drum on your drum pads or your keyboards and change.
Oh, by the way, needless to say, he's a musician as well. Clearly, and you know what's funny? I said this before, everyone who's working here is a musician. Builders, DJs, electricians, 2 DJs, plumber, saxophonist.
Really?
Yes. Not anyone who has touched the studio is not a musician.
Well, that's what you want, isn't it? People that are passionate about music. Perfect.
So can we control it remotely or something like that?
Yeah, sure. We could use a system just like this, which is a Lutron RA. This little box is the brain. You plug that into your router, and that communicates with remote dimmer packs for each circuit, and then you can put these keypads wherever you want. They just mount to the wall, no wires, and they communicate with the brain, which then communicates to the dimmer pack and tells the lights to switch on, switch off, dim.
And also change color?
Yeah. Yeah.
And are they also Alexa compatible?
Yep, you can connect it to Alexa. You can control it on your smartphone. You can even have it so that it geo-fences. If you approach the property and walk in here, and the lights will switch on to a preset scene.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Let's do it, Steve.
Okay, let's do it.
I have an idea. How about when we finish doing all the planning today, we order all the stuff, maybe you come here when we're doing second fix with the electricians, and we modify and build the thing to accommodate that.
Yeah.
Is that something you could do?
Sure, we can do that.
So,
Reface and
you didn't buy this because of me, did you?
Yes,
You
of
did.
course I did.
Of course you did. So that's all his gear, and of course.
And you got to have one of these, haven't you?
What is that? Oh, I so want one.
Yeah. Surprised you haven't.
I gotta stop at some point.
And then I'm old school, I'm afraid.
What is that?
So yeah.
Oh. Yeah, man. Fantastic. Okay. So this is what you got from your booth, right?
Yeah. We've got tunable white strip, which you could use in there for your daylight control. You've got cool white through to warm white. So you can change your colour temperature depending on the time of day. Or we've also got the tunable colour, obviously. Or you can have the whole lot it combined on one strip. So you've got tunable colour and tunable white.
And it doesn't seem to flicker either. Oh man, it's gonna look so good.
This is what I usually produce for every project. Each light fitting has its own individual circuit. It tells you what the type of light is, it tells you what the beam width is, it tells you any drivers that are required to run it, it tells you what channel it goes on. Everything so the electrician can install it. I do a full spec with this as well.
Thank you so much for coming around, I really appreciated this.
No worries, it's been great. Really good to meet you. Sweet job. It's really going to look great, yeah.
Bang!
Excellent.
Bye, man.
See you later, mate.
Yeah.